Welcome to the first lecture on doing presentations. Doing presentations is a critical skill for business professionals, and it provides you with an opportunity to set yourself apart. In the first lecture, we'll start off with a discussion of stage fright and ways that might help you overcome it. Do you love to present? In my experience, most students do not love to present. I usually have 3/4 of class admitting that they do not love to present. What are your biggest challenges when you develop or give a presentation? Please pause the video lecture and write down your answers. What do you think are the top 10 fears that people have? The Chapman University survey on American fears showed that 25% of Americans have a fear of public speaking, more than people that are afraid of heights, animals, or drowning. There actually is a name for fear of public speaking. Which one do you think it is? The correct answer is D, glossophobia. Do you think that having social anxiety related to public speaking is just all within your head, or are some people wired to feel more nervous than others? Please pause to think about this question and answer for yourself. It turns out it is not all in your head. There is a genetic component to how nervous you feel when speaking publicly. John Lennon, despite having done thousands of performances and being hugely successful, vomited before each performance. Let's take a look at a video that moves us from speculation about stage fright to the science of stage fright. You can find this video in the presenting playlist on YouTube. It is exam material. Do all or some of the symptoms described in the video sound familiar to you? A tense neck and back, shaking hands and legs, sweating, elevated blood pressure and heart rate? Public speaking threatens reputation, which ignites the flight or fight response. The symptoms of stage fright prepare us to fight or flight. So it is not just in your head. It is a natural, hormonal, full-body reaction by an autonomous nervous system on autopilot. Your hypothalamus triggers your pituitary gland to secrete the hormone ACTH, making your adrenal gland shoot adrenaline to your blood, and that causes those symptoms. And as pointed out in the video, genetics play a huge role in social anxiety. But there are best practices in how to deal with presentation anxiety, and even to get over it. How do you deal with presentation anxiety? Please pause the video lecture and write down in what ways you try to control your presentation anxiety. Next, let's look at some tips for how to effectively deal with stage fright. The best way to be in control of stage fright is to practice, a lot, and to really make the point that practice is the single most important criterion within your control to deal with stage fright and the first step towards becoming a more effective speaker. Practice is also tip number 2 and also tip number 3. Toastmasters is a non-profit organization devoted to developing public speaking and leadership skills through practice and feedback in local clubs. You can Google the organization for more information. It's quite likely there is one near where you live. Let's now look at this TED Talk by Joe Cohen on his experience with stage fright and how he has found a way to deal with it. You can find the video on YouTube in the presenting playlist. It is exam material. Imagine that you would be invited to give a TED Talk. If you are not familiar with TED Talks, please look at one on YouTube. They are very high quality talks. Let's take a look at an unlikely TED presenter, someone who would, like many of you, be both thrilled and scared to be invited to give a TED Talk. This is Richard Turiri, a 12-year-old Maasai boy. The Maasai are a Nilotic ethnic group of semi-nomadic people inhabiting southern Kenya and northern Tanzania. Boys the age of Richard are charged with the protection of the farm animals from lions and other wild animals. Richard came up with a solution for this problem to more effectively protect the farm animals. His solution was successful, and Richard was invited to give a TED Talk. However, Richard was very shy, and when he tried to explain his invention, it was not coherent. Wouldn't you agree that if Richard, with the right preparation and effort, can be a good speaker, then so could you? Please look at Richard's TED Talk, which you can find among the videos in the presenting playlist on YouTube. This is considered exam material. TED Talks are known for their amazing quality. They are taped live. The TED team does not leave the success of its talks to coincidence. They actively coach their presenters to frame, practice, and deliver their stories. The TED team starts to coach the presenters 6 to 9 months before the event. The key to a killer presentation is that it looks effortless, but that it actually takes a huge amount of effort to plan, devise, rehearse, and fine-tune. If you are working on your presentation and you are practicing and not making changes to your presentation based on what you have learned during practice, there is something you aren't doing right. While practice is the single most important thing you can do to help control stage fright, there are several other things that might help. For one, consider using visual aids. There are many different types of visual aids one can use. Flight attendants, for example, use several devices to illustrate the safety procedures. Similarly, you can bring artifacts or props to class to show. Prop is short for property and is a term used on stage or on screen by actors during a performance or screen production. Of course, PowerPoint can be a powerful tool when used appropriately. You can load it with beautiful images and short, relevant videos that help you bring your message. You can also use a multitude of tools to help bring your message or shift the format of your presentation, which helps the audience to remain attentive. Things such as the whiteboard, a flip chart, or handouts are often underutilized in presentations in which they could be used. Another way to control stage fright is to get the audience involved. Put them on the stage. Simple ways to engage your audience is by asking them a question, let them vote with or without audience response technology, play a game, etc. There are many original and relevant ways in which you can have your audience participate. I recommend you Google audience participation or audience engagement for ideas. Learn how to move around and actually make it part of your practice. If you don't, you might overdo it. Moving around will help reduce anxiety. As part of practice, invite someone to watch you do your presentation. If you can practice your presentation using an actual slide projector, that is ideal. If not, make do without. You want to make clear to the attendee that you want her to be honest with regards to your performance and give you feedback on how you can improve. It's best to get someone who has some experience giving presentations themselves. When you are doing your presentation, there will always be people who look at you with a frown or seem utterly disengaged, for example by looking at their cell phones. Therefore, try to find the friendly folks in the room. You know, the ones that tend to smile and nod. They are your allies. Focus on them. It's a mistake to drink coffee or to go on stage without water. Drinking coffee or other caffeinated beverages elevates your blood pressure and will make your symptoms worse. Just skip coffee for the entire day and you will see a noticeable difference. As the video on stage fright showed earlier, our digestive system tends to shut down when we are in the fight or flight mode, so we get a dry mouth. I'm sure you've seen presenters with a dry mouth, which results in what's called mouth noise or mouth clicking. Having water readily available will reduce this problem. You can explicitly create moments where you can drink water without feeling like everyone is watching you, such as during a short video or an exercise. It's best to start drinking water 15 minutes beforehand. Try to give yourself positive, not negative thoughts. Don't focus on how nervous you feel or how much others will see that. Instead, convince yourself that this is your moment to shine, the moment you have worked so hard to get to through all your practice. And finally, no matter how well you prepare, be okay with the unexpected. You may forget a word, a phone might ring in the audience, there might be a technical difficulty. Take a moment, breathe deeply, and just roll with it. Oh, did I mention practice? This concludes the first lecture in the Presenting lecture series.